Shalom Aleichem. Baruchim Habayim. Moshe Langado here, speaking under the auspices of Kollel, Baruch, Avat Yisrael in San Diego, California, and Sha'rei Tziyon here in Brooklyn, New York. This week, Parshat YESHEV. It tells us the story of Yaakov after he has traversed a very difficult life. From the time he was at home with his brother Esav, when he ran away to Lavan, the story of Dinah, and now, YESHEV, tranquility, senior citizens, social security, everything's quiet. But it was not meant to be. For at that moment, when everything seemed to be peaceful, one of the most difficult periods for Yaakov came to being. His beloved son, the son of his beloved wife, Rachel, was snatched away from him. For 22 years, he suffered the loneliness of not being with his son Yosef. So much did it hurt him that our sages tell us he did not have the Shekhinah with him. Very difficult period. The question arises, what did Yaakov do to deserve these 22 years of suffering? And the answer is based on a Newtonian law. For every action, there's an equal reaction. Yes, Yaakov Avinu had left his father's house, had left his mother and father, never to see his mother again, and to be away from his father for 22 years. Those exact 22 years would come back to haunt him, and his son Yosef would not be him for 22 years. Yaakov did not fulfill Kibud Avayim for 22 years. Yosef would not be able to fulfill Kibud Avayim for 22 years. Seems like a horrible punishment. But maybe it's not a punishment. Maybe that is just the law of nature. Just like Newton told us that in the physical world, there's an action and a reaction, and so is it in the spiritual world. Kibud Avayim gives us Kibud Avayim. If one person honors his parents, his children will be able to honor him. But what bothers me is that last week's Parsha, Rachel Imenu passed away. She was the soulmate of Yaakov. And we do not see the depression. We do not see that length of mourning that was done for Yosef. And we have to delve into it. Why? And maybe we could give an answer as follows. When Rachel was on the way with Yaakov, and she was giving birth to Binyamin, and she died on the way, Yaakov buried her and put a stone, a matzeva, on top, and went on his way. When we go to a cemetery, the general custom is not to bring flowers, but to put a rock on the cemetery, on the grave. Why a rock? What does a rock symbolize? And let me suggest, maybe it has to do with something we say and is beloved to all Jews during the Hanukkah lighting. One of the most beautiful poems, one of the most beautiful songs, Ma'oz Tzur Yeshuati. We refer to God Almighty as the rock. He is our rock. He is what keeps us standing. When we bury somebody, we put a rock on top. So every time we go to the cemetery, we know that the departed is with God, with our rock. When we go and visit the cemetery, we take a rock and we put it on the grave. Ma'o tzur yeshuati. How strong is our rock? Our redemption. When Yaakov buried Rachel Imenu, there was closure. He felt that Rachel Imenu was no more on this petty material world. She now was with the rock, with the Borei Olam, under the Kisei HaKavod. But that closure never existed with Yosef. Therefore, for 22 years, he was broken, till he would see him again. My friends, let us take to heart how important is Kibud Av Va'em, respecting one's parents, especially when they're alive, how we should treat them, how we should respect them, how we should love them. Communicate with them daily. Show your affection all the time. And even after 120 years, when they have passed on and they are with the rock in heaven, let us also respect them, honor their memory. And Bezrat Hashem, with these type of thoughts, we'll be zocher very quickly to Biat HaMashiach, and of course the Chiyat HaMetim, when we'll be with all our loved ones. May I wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom and a Chag Sameach.